Antoinette, unmute yourself. Hello, unmute yourself, Antoinette. Hello. Hi, how are you?
Okay.
I am well. How old are you, Antoinette?
I am 44.
All right. So, what question are we tackling? I'm talking about happiness, and I'm also talking about boredom. Which one do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about happiness.
Okay. Are you single or are you married?
I am single.
Okay. What do you have to say on the topic?
Pardon?
What do you have to say on the topic?
Happiness is individual. You can't depend on someone else to provide your happiness. So it's kind of futile to expect a man to do that for you. So when women say I'm not happy, I begin to look at them funny and try and understand, why aren't you happy? That's your responsibility, no one else's.
Right.
If you're in a relationship with someone, you're supposed to be complimenting them and not expecting them to do for you what you should be doing for yourself.
Have you ever been married?
No, I have not.
Any children?
None.
Okay. When was the last time you were in a relationship?
About
What? How long ago? How long ago? I don't know what's going on with you. Hello.
Hi, I'm here.
I asked you how long were you in that relationship?
About a year. It was a year.
How long ago was that?
I'm sorry, that was 6 months ago that I was in a year-long relationship.
Okay. What was the longest relationship you've ever been in?
2 years.
And how long ago was that relationship?
Ooh, about 5 years ago.
So, you're telling the ladies that happiness is your responsibility, which I agree. But you're unmarried, no kids. Did you ever want to get married?
Absolutely, I did.
Do you still want to marry?
I do.
Okay. Um, have you ever been engaged?
No, I have not.
So what's the holdup? What do you think the holdup to getting married is then?
The holdup is actually me. I have no problem saying that. I have high expectations, and I realize that a lot of people just can't meet them. And instead of me kind of
Wait a minute.
accepting
Wait a minute.
them being
You
mediocre,
have high
I just rather be
expectations.
by myself.
You have high
And
expectations. Hold on. You have high expectations.
yes,
You want to share what those are?
absolutely. I'm a Christian, so I would like for my potential mate to be a Christian as well. I would like for him to be self sufficient for himself, nothing to do with me. He's fully
Self
able
sufficient
to
for
support.
himself. That
Pardon?
just means self sufficient for himself. That just means
Yes,
that
has
he
nothing to do
can.
with me.
Okay.
Just he's living his life, doing his thing. I also expect him to have some initiative and to have goals for himself, nothing to do with me. And
What does that
this
mean? What does that mean?
meaning like he's not satisfied with just the mediocre run of the mill. He has goals, he has passions, he has things that make him excited.
Okay. Did you go to college?
Absolutely.
What's your degree in?
Major in sociology, minor in communication and business, and I also hold a master's.
I'm a PhD.
Um, are you making over six figures?
Not yet.
Not yet. Are you making over $80,000 a year?
No,
Over
just
six.
under that.
Okay. And what state?
Florida.
Okay. So a lot of men would hear what you're saying. And how tall are you?
5'9".
Dress size?
22.
How much did you weigh last time you weighed yourself?
I'd rather not say, but I am definitely a plus size woman.
Dress
for
size
sure.
22 means you're about 230 pounds.
Yes.
Okay, so you don't have to say I'm an image consultant. I'm just giving you a chance because I'm listening to what you want, and you say the man that has ambition and has goals. Would it be? Do you think the man that would fit your lofty standards would have requirements for a woman?
Absolutely.
What do you think some of those would be?
You've said this in multiple conversations. Definitely they want someone who is fit. And I
Mhm.
realize that's an inequity that I have. So that's why I'm not upset about my status because I'm not meeting that. And that's only fair. I'm a fair person. So how can you expect something of someone and you're not meeting that?
Well, you said that you can't find a mate because your standards are too high. And I'm going to ask you, are your standards higher than your sexual marketplace value?
I don't think so because I'm very realistic in where I sit. I'm not saying I'm a 7, I'm not saying I'm a 10, I'm not saying any of that. So I know where I am. That's
What would you rank
why
it?
I
What would you
can
give
sit
yourself? What
back.
would you rank yourself?
Pardon?
What would you rank yourself?
Right now, because of me being a realist, I'm probably a 5 at best. And a lot of that has to do with my weight. And I
Okay, what would you
recognize
rank?
that.
This your looks. About your weight to the side. What would you rank your looks? Fresh face out of the shower, no makeup, just you.
I would say I'm about a 6.
Okay, so go back to what you said. The reason I can't find someone is because my standards are high, are pretty
Yes,
lofty. Um, but you don't think your standards exceed your perceived sexual marketplace value by men.
correct.
Yeah, they do. The things you're talking about you want from a man is a provider male. A man that's, I'm assuming you want a man who's making at least what you're making or more.
Around that, yes.
Okay, but you're
But I'm
making
not.
you're making right around 60, right?
Yes.
All right, ma'am. Okay. I need you to listen to what I'm about to say. A big part of the issue today with women is you guys have these careers and these degrees and this perception of the value of it, but where it matters is where it gets in the bank. So you could have a master's or whatever, but you ain't making master's money. At 44, you've pretty much you're topping out on your income. Okay, that's just what it is. Um, you already talked about the weight issue, and you got to be realistic that a man with ambition is going to want a woman that's going to be fit, and that is something that you have every bit of control over.
Right.
So it's not because of your standard. I could make the argument that you're just lazy when it comes to being fit for a mate.
Hmm.
Because you do have control over this. But what do you, if you had to give yourself out of 100%, what do you think the likelihood that you will marry in your lifetime?
Ooh, 30%.
30%. When you reach 50, what do you think that percentage would be if you're still unmarried?
15.
So you have 5 years before it goes from 30 to 15%.
Hmm.
What are you doing to make sure you get married in the next 5 years to
Actually,
the kind of man you're
actually,
talking about?
what I'm doing is when you think you're doing something correct and it's not giving you the results that you want, you got to look for information. And I've learned a lot by listening to your program and other people who have similar views. And I stepped back and I said, you know what? It's not wrong. So I'm in the process of fixing some things. And
What
the weight would
exactly
be
are
the
you
first
doing?
one. Pardon.
What are the top three things you're doing?
Um, Looking for another job. Weight, actually creating a weight program for me to stick to and actually achieve realistic goals that I've set for myself. So I'm giving myself about 18 months to get to the number I think would make me healthier. And I think 18 months is a realistic time period for
Uh-huh.
me to
What's the
get to
other
the
one?
weight that I
What's
want to
the other
be.
one? What's the other thing?
And the last thing would be kind of just investing in myself through counseling, like actual one-on-one counseling,
You got
so
a
that I
counselor?
can
You
work
got a
through my
counselor?
own personal issues.
You got a counselor or a therapist?
I am looking for one.
Okay. So, ma'am, I'm going to be honest. Job, that means nothing to a man.
Mhm.
Weight, you're not in the gym. You're not working with a personal trainer. You're not doing anything. So you're fitting up. I'm about to. I'm about to. I'm about to. I'm getting ready. I'm gathering information. And I'm going to talk to the ladies. This is one of y'all biggest problems. You guys don't do shit. Y'all just sit and listen to what tickles your ears. And then no counselor. And then you say you're going to give yourself 18 months when you said you have less than 5 years before your marriage prospects decrease by half. Ma'am, you're going to die alone. I mean, you said that happiness is your responsibility, not the man. I'm glad you said that. And this is your responsibility too, because information, how many times do you need to hear me say, men want fit women before you become a fit woman?
Could you repeat that last statement
How
again?
many times do you need to hear me say men want fit women? How many times do you need to hear men say men want fit women before you choose to become a fit woman?
Um, Remember how you said, "What are you doing to make this happen?"
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like most people. I just discovered you within the last week and a half.
Well, that's
So
fine, but
this is
ma'am, but
new
ma'am, but ma'am,
information.
but due respect, ma'am, you live in Florida. That's not Mars. You know men want women that are fit.
Mhm.
This isn't new information. We're roughly the same age cohort. So, are you? Can you honestly say you're really doing the work, or is the work too much at this point?
Oh no, I'm doing the work because, like I said, happiness is for me. And I know that
Mhm.
I would be personally happy with me, not even considering a man, for me to achieve my personal fitness
Oh, so
goals for
you're
me.
okay. So you're okay. Okay, but happiness is for you. But we're
Mhm.
talking context relationships. So when you ladies start talking like this, I immediately bristle because now you're diminishing the outcome. It's like, well, who needs to graduate with a 4.0? A 3.5 will do. No, there's no reason. How about you lower your standards? How about that? How about you lower your standards in a man?
I don't, well, the standards that I have, I don't think they're like excessive.
Yes, they are. Is the average man ambitious?
Mm, I,
Is the
I don't know.
average person ambitious?
Well, then I would have to say no. Well, then that
Okay.
must be
All right, ma'am. But if the average person isn't ambitious and you're average, or would you say you're above average? Now, you said you gave yourself a 5, right?
hmm
I think that's optimistic. I think it's very optimistic. So, if you're even what you say you are, why do you get somebody who's ambitious when there is nothing about you in your life today that's ambitious? It's average.
interesting.
I'm trying to understand, why do you think that's interesting? You've had the longest relationship you had was 2 years. You had a relationship that's 1 year. You're 44, no children. You got a bachelor's and a master's. You're making around less than 60 grand a year, and you're 230 some odd pounds. That's a lot. And then you say, I want a man who's ambitious, who has goals, and is driven. And I'm like, well, you can want that, but but can you afford that with your sexual marketplace value? You said your goals, your asking price doesn't top your sexual marketplace value. I think what you're asking for is about twice what your sexual marketplace value is.
And I can definitely understand what you're saying from, what you believe. All I'm saying is, for me,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would be settling, and I'm not willing to do that.
Ma'am,
So,
I need you to understand what you just said.
mhm.
Why would any woman, not just you, any woman that's middle age, 230 some odd pounds, getting a man who is average, why would that be settling?
The ambition part is what I'm talking about when I say settling. It's not the
What does he
finance
need to
part
have?
because,
What does he need to have ambition for? Maybe that's a better question. What does he need to have ambition for?
well, like for me, I believe in generational wealth and planning for the future. So that's something that,
You have no
not a
children,
lot of people
man. You have
talk
no
about.
children. You have no children.
That's true. I don't.
Where are the kids going to come from?
Pardon?
Where will the children come from?
Would probably be adoption at this point.
Man, generational wealth is a buzzword. You have no generations, right? You have no children.
That's
Do you
correct.
plan on giving birth to any children?
Well, science is not on my side, so I'm a realist.
I asked you, do
So,
you plan on giving birth to any kid? So what I'm hearing is you still hold. And see, when I was going to do HBO, the last O was not going to be omnipotence. It was going to be optimism. And ma'am, you've painted an overly optimistic picture. At 44, ma'am, you're still holding out hope that you can get married and have kids, right?
no, I've come to the place where I don't think that's a reality. I've been thinking about that.
How long has it been since you accepted that reality?
Mm, about a couple months.
Couple months, man. Due respect, man. A couple of months at you're almost 50 years old. What month is your birthday in?
It's in July.
So you'll be 45 in July. You're almost half a hundo.
hmm
And you're talking like a woman in her 20s. And I'm glad you're being honest, but I'm sad. What saddens me is that I see so many women in our generation who are delusional to where they're still talking this stuff about settling. Do you make room for the fact that a man would have to settle for you?
It's a possibility simply because life is about choices and we have to choose.
Well, I
What
mean, when I say settle, what I mean by settle, because you're five, what again? Five tall, 5'9", 5'7"?
5'9".
Okay, man. Okay. If black men were snapped away from the earth tomorrow, poof, all gone. Every trace of black male DNA is gone. What do you think your marriage possibilities would be now?
If there were no black men?
Yes, no black men, none. None
Well,
exist.
realistically, from the information I've gathered, it would probably be like zero.
Okay. So the 30% number is because of black men.
Mhm.
So you think black men's standards are lower than other men? Well, mathematically, that's what you just said.
So I don't. Well,
I'm just asking because what I'm asking is you said I got about a 30% chance and then 50 it drops to 15. I'm like, okay, cool. But what if I snapped and all the black men are gone? All the black men are gone. Just then you say my chances today, where does that 30% go? You said to zero.
well, I'm basing it on the information that I've read, where they said that of all the population of women, black women are the least likely to be selected.
Okay, we're talking
Um,
specifically about you. I'm talking not all the statistics, but do you have ambitious non-black men approaching you for serious relationship?
could you repeat that last
Do
part
you
again,
have
please?
ambitious non-black men approaching you for serious relationship?
To be honest with you, I really don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I guess the question I'm ultimately asking is, do you think black men, do you think a black man who's at your desired level would accept you, but would a white man, Hispanic man, Middle Eastern, or Asian man at the same level of that black man, would he accept you? Would any one of them accept you?
Mm, I don't. Not at the same level. I don't think so.
Whose level is the lowest?
Pardon?
Which race of men's level would be at the lowest?
Asian?
You think an Asian man would accept you before a black man?
No, 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 no. I thought you said the other way around.
No, no.
The
Whose level is at
lowest.
the lowest? Meaning, who would be most likely to accept and least
Oh,
likely
who
to
would be the
accept?
most Hispanic? Probably.
Hispanic men will more likely accept you over a black man.
Hmm.
No. Hispanic men in general, the culture is very family centric. And women get to be around your age with no children, the family, the generation. And see, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to have a conversation that everybody can use. And you came in saying some things that, hey, happiness is not on the man. And it sounds good. But I know what women are going to say. Okay, well, what are your relationships? And you don't have any relationships, really. And then that's fine. Life happens. But then you start talking about you would like to be in a marriage. And then you said the reason I'm not married is because of my standards. And ma'am, your standards are astronomical compared to your sexual marketplace value. The more we've talked, the more sure I've become of the fact that you got a G wagon. You know what a G wagon is?
No.
A Mercedes SUV, the
Oh,
square
okay.
ones.
Yes.
Things like $250,000, right?
Hmm.
People are paying $100,000 over sticker to get one in high demand. You got a G wagon kind of expectation, and you're like a Honda Accord, and you don't see it. That's why I changed the races of men, because you said I feel like I got a 30% chance of getting married today. when 1 in 4 black women will marry in their lifetime. And you already know you're 44, you're as tall as you are, you weigh what you are, what you do. You already know these things. So that, if you were being realistic, like you said, that should really have lowered your number to about 10%. But you have to believe, because at this point, I get it, that's all y'all got left because you're not doing the work. And then I said at 50, what does it go down to? About 15%. Now, at 50, it goes down to about almost 0. And you know why I say that? Because if I just simply switch the race of men, the truth comes out. I'm saying this so you can understand that, man, if you want to have a different outcome, you're going to have time to put yourself on an 18-month timetable. You'll have time to finish. You need to do that today, tomorrow. You need to start this tomorrow. And you need to lower your expectations to match where you are. All those things need to happen. The job, not so much. The weight, the counseling, and then lowering your standard to match what you are. And see, we tell men to lower their standards all the time, but women are told to aim for the stars because y'all don't want to settle. And it just confused the hell out of us men to why average women don't want to settle. Audience, am I missing something here? Did you have anything you wanted to say, ma'am? Go ahead. You're not on camera. Go ahead. Speak what you got to speak your speech. Speak your speech.
I am aware of what you were trying to get out. Maybe I didn't articulate it properly. I know where I am in life because of choices that I've made. It's more apparent because I have listened to information that makes sense and I can see the validity in it. One thing that I am is self-aware. And if I'm misstepping, I will take accountability for that. So unlike a lot of people who will never say, oh it's not me.
Okay, hold on. Use less words. Okay, hold on. Use less words. No, whoa. Okay, hold on. Use less words. So you say you do know where you are in life based on the choices.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm aware.
Okay.
I just didn't think ambition was a high standard, but when
it is. It is. Hold on, you're over talking.
I didn't realize that.
Ambition is, why do you need an ambitious man at almost 45 years old? You don't have any children. You won't have any children. What do you need a man to have ambition for when you're over middle age? The building phase of life is over. We're in the later years, and especially if you take into consideration weight and health. Come on, man. Why do you need ambition? You said generational wealth. Women should want ambitious men when they are in their 20s, not 40s. But the real thing is, because I believe I'm higher than I don't believe that you really have a good grasp on where you're really at. I really don't. Let me go ahead and unmute the other ladies, but
as we conclude this profound conversation with Antoinette, we can't help but notice the contrast between her expectations and her present circumstances. It's clear that her perspective on what she believes she deserves versus what might be realistic given her situation is somewhat delusional. Antoinette's insistence on finding an ambitious, successful man, despite her own predicament, seems at odds with her reality. She strongly believes that her education and intelligence should make her a desirable partner, disregarding the fact that many men might also prioritize physical fitness and the potential for having children in a relationship. Antoinette's age and obesity could very well be deal breakers for men with the ambition and success she desires in a partner. Moreover, it's noteworthy that Antoinette views an average earning man as beneath her. This sense of entitlement, coupled with a lack of self-awareness, could be contributing to her single status. While it's fair to have high expectations in your 20s, a time of building and growing, it's important to reassess and adapt these expectations as we age and circumstances change. As relationship expert Kevin suggested, it might be more appropriate and fruitful for Antoinette to look for a decent man who is willing to accept her as she is. At this point in life, companionship, understanding, and acceptance should take precedence over unchecked ambitions and unrealistic expectations. In the end, this video serves as a stark reminder that reality can sometimes differ significantly from our expectations. It urges us to remain grounded, adaptable, and conscious of our desires versus the practicalities of life and relationships. Thank you for joining us in this insightful conversation. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below and hit the like button if you found this discussion interesting. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to the Relationship Report for more such thought-provoking discussions.